Hello, my friends, and welcome to another lesson from John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. I'm Jim Hatchell, lead coach and trainer at Next Degree Leader. And today I will be sharing the law of curiosity. And the law of curiosity says growth is stimulated by asking why. That's a great segue for what I want to share with you today. And it reminds me of when my daughter was a very young girl, very, very young. I'm talking about 2, 3 years old. And she would ask a million questions. Mommy, why? Daddy, why? She was the most curious kid I've ever met. But you know what? That curiosity, that desire to learn and gather information has made her who she is today. So curiosity killed the cat and satisfaction brought him back. But if we have a curious spirit, then certainly it is going to give us an opportunity to grow. And today I want to share a little bit about curiosity and what does it mean to be curious and how can it help us in our growth process? Well, John talks about a number of things in his book and in the chapter about curiosity. And I love what he says when he talks about where does curiosity come from? Because I was not a curious kid. I mean, I was sort of the one who went out and played in the yard and just did things and never really had much of a curious spirit until later in my life when I started wanting to know more about why things took place. Now, I was mostly focused on myself and why would you do that to me? Or why do I need to do that? But I started asking questions and I started going and reading books and learning and growing. And so my curiosity grew as I wanted to gather more information. But here's what I like about what John says. As we want to create that curiosity mindset to help us on our growth journey. And that's really what we're talking about and what I have been talking about for the last 10 or 11 days or the 10, 11 lessons that I've taught. They've all been about how we can take ourselves to the next level, to grow to our highest level of potential. And none of us really know where we are on that scale of potential. We don't know where that potential ends. Well, in fact, it doesn't end. It's as far out there as you can go. It's a matter of whether we're willing to invest and do the things we need to do to grow to that potential. And curiosity is a way to help us on that journey. So as we think about how we can be more curious, think about the things that John shares with us. And I'm going to share a few of them this morning. I won't share them all because the list is extremely long, but they are ones that I think are important in this process of being curious. And so as we look at the first one, it says you have to believe that you have a curious mindset, that you are curious about things in life, that you're not settling for what's right around you, that you're willing to investigate and go out and find more information. But if you don't believe that you have that opportunity or you don't believe that you can be curious, then of course you're not going to be curious. And I have a few notes here. It says, in fact, that allows me to think about something else because without that curious spirit, it sort of leaves us with a mindset that we have limits that we place on ourselves and that we have a limiting belief. And we don't need a limiting belief. We need a belief that we can go out and find information that will take us to the next level. And so as I think about the next thing that he talks about is that we have to have the mindset of a beginner. As I shared about my daughter, she was a beginner. She was thinking about all the little things. Why does a refrigerator keep food cold? Why does the sun come up? Why Do dogs bark? I mean, all those kid curiosity questions that she had. Well, today she is a mom and she has 3 kids who are all very curious and are constantly asking questions. Her middle daughter, who is probably the most curious, asked her so many questions that she one day said, "You cannot ask me any more questions today." But her daughter has that beginning mindset, and she's at the beginning of her journey in life, and she too wants to get answers. So we need to be that way. We need to be we need to have the kind of mindset that my granddaughter has. That she's at the beginning and she wants to ask questions to get her to where she wants to go. And we all need to experience that. We don't ask enough questions. That's one of the things I know about all of us. We accept too much. We don't think enough. We need to be thinkers, and we need to be asking that question to take us to the next level with the beginner mindset. Don't act like you know it. I'm brand new here. I'm going to ask some questions to help me get to where I need to go. Which takes me to the next thing that John says in the book, is that we have to make why our favorite word. Too often, we accept answers without asking questions about why is it that way. I was listening to something yesterday about dealing with teams and trying to help teams understand what their vision is and what your vision is for them to move forward, and that we need to ask lots of questions to make sure that everybody understands what we're talking about. And without asking those why questions, then perhaps we'll accept something that is not right or that holds us back, that keeps us in the status quo. So be willing to ask the question, why? Another thing that he mentions in his book, he says we have to learn something new every day. Now, for me, that's very easy because there's so much out there that I don't know. And so I read every day. I read something every day to expand my horizon, to grow my knowledge, to become better at what I'm doing. And that's easy today. I mean, all we have to do is pull out our phone or pick up a book. There's so many ways for us to learn today. There's no reason for us not to go out and learn something new every day. YouTube has thousands and thousands and thousands of how-to videos that you can go watch. There's several other ways to do that through learning websites that you can pay for, that you can go out and learn and get certifications in various things. So learn something new every day. And then as we think about that, we got to get outside of our comfort zone. You'll hear me talk about that hundreds and hundreds of times, but getting out of the box, getting out there and not accepting the status quo, but being curious about what's outside. So yesterday, I know we shouldn't be doing this, but I did it anyway. There's a little farm out in the country that sells different types of tomatoes, heirlooms, all of the hybrids and all this. And I just wanted to get a couple tomatoes, and I knew what I wanted when I went out there. So I went with the specific intent of buying these types of tomatoes to put in my tomato garden. But the lady who was there, when we were 6 feet apart, said, "You should try this variety." Well, but I don't know anything about that variety. She said, "Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you one to try this year. And I promise you next year, you want to buy that." So I got outside of my box. I got outside of my comfort zone, and I've taken that tomato and I'm putting it in the ground, and I'm waiting to see in about 90 days what kind of results I'm going to get from that new tomato. So I'm getting out of that box and I'm learning about something new. But we need to do that same thing on our growth journey. We have to get out and try different things. Don't lock yourself in. It's a lot like personality assessments. You know, people say, well, I'm a high D or I'm an ESTJ or whatever you might have as a personality assessment. We don't want to box you into that assessment because when you start boxing people in, then you lose a lot of that, what we're calling today, curiosity of learning to be something better than they are. And while, yes, I might be a high D or a high IS or a C or ISTJ or EFTG or whatever the next thing might be, but if I box myself into those specific types of personalities, then I'm holding myself back. I'm not allowing myself the opportunity to grow to my next level. I'm putting a lid on my growth journey, and we don't want to do that. Be curious. Have a curious spirit. Go out and learn and grow. Don't have a fixed mindset, have a growth mindset. And finally, the last thing I want you to think about as you look into this curiosity, this law of curiosity, the growth of stimulating your journey by asking questions and having a mindset of a beginner. Here's the last thing I want you to think about. I want you to think about just taking the opportunity to enjoy life. Enjoy your life. Enjoy what you're doing right now. I know it's hard for us to say, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. But we need to have a positive mindset and enjoy where we are and knowing that it is going to be better, that this crisis that we're going through, this pandemic, will eventually pass and we will be able to get back out and do the things that we need to do. And there are lots of things I want to do. I need to get out and go visit people. I need to get out and go hug my grandkids. I need to do a lot of things. And I'm going to enjoy life even more so when that's happening. But in this moment right now, I'm doing everything I can to enjoy what I'm doing and where I am. Now, I don't know if this will be of interest to you or not, but I'm going to be continuing to offer different types of engagements like this, where you can join in and be a part of the conversation. The first one is going to be starting next Monday. It's going to be at 8:30 in the evening. It'll last about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the conversation. But it's going to be about leading through a crisis. I'll be posting some information on our Next Degree Leader Facebook page about how you can join that conversation. In the meantime, stay curious, enjoy where you are, shoot me a message on my Facebook page, and let me know that you are enjoying where you are today. Hey, this is Jim saying, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with another lesson from John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Y'all take care, be safe, and I love you.